is made possible in part by grants from Ryder Oldsmobile Cadillac Mazda State College, from the Student Bookstore State College for new and used textbooks, school supplies, souvenirs, and campuswear, and from Unimarts Incorporated, with stores located in Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and Delaware. Wherever you go, there we are, serving you with convenience and courtesy every day of the year.
It may have looked different. Our production people are absolute geniuses, and we're sitting in brand new blue chairs, but I'm afraid it's the same old cast, but it's not the same old program. We have new player guests, of course, each week, and it's about the 19th year, I guess, we've done this program, and it's time sure flies when you're having fun. Our special guest in this evening's program is defensive co-captain, linebacker Carmen Masciantonio. Carmen, it's great to have you aboard.
Nice to be here.
And, of course, the man that is part of this production from beginning to end, and really the star of the show is Penn State football coach Joe Paterno. Joe, great to be back.
It's nice to be a star.
So you've enjoyed that status for many years.
Yeah, I'm sure of that.
Are you comfortable in the chair?
Well, we've really moved up a great deal since we used to sit on those stools.
That's true.
No, I think it's great. I'm glad we're improving all the time.
Joe, quick assessment, overview. Penn State winning a football game against Rutgers.
Well, there were a lot of things about the game that pleased me. I thought we went out with some priorities this year. We were going to be a better defensive team, stronger up front, a little better pass rushing football team, and I think we did that yesterday. Offensively, I knew we would be young and inexperienced, inconsistent, and I think that I wasn't disappointed.
In that regard.
I got what I thought we were going to get, but I was pleased with our kids, despite the fact that they kicked some things around and they stopped themselves and wasted a lot of opportunities and really kept at it. And were playing better football offensively at the end of the football game than they were earlier, which is what you're looking for. If they had kind of lost their poise and started to stick their heads down and all that kind of nonsense and stopped coming at the football when it was getting kind of tough, then I probably would have been discouraged. But I saw a lot of things that indicate to me that we've got a good basis to build from. We've got a good foundation, got some fine young people that right now lack for some technique, lack for some cohesiveness, but I think we're going to be all right.
So before the game, of course, there was an awful lot written about the fact that Dick Anderson, who spent a lot of time in your staff, is coming back under a different set of circumstances. I'm wondering what went through your mind when, prior to the kickoff, as you always do, that you go over and say, "Hi, Coach, how you doing?"
Well, looking at the picture and talking to Dick, I recruited Dick Anderson out of high school, way back at East Rutherford, New Jersey. And Dick and I have always been close, and I had always kept my eye on his career, and eventually we was going to bring him back. And when I did bring him back on his staff in the early 70s, he had made a marvelous contribution, and I miss him. I think the staff we have now is doing an outstanding job, and we'll miss Dick certainly in some areas of football, but I miss the guy as a good friend. And I really didn't think much about how I was going to feel until I saw him with his team warming up, and I was working out. I looked and I said, "Son of a gun, it's been a lot of years since you were just a snot-nosed high school kid. Now I got to compete against you." So in that sense, I was proud. I was proud of the way his team played it, because I'm proud for him.
Yeah, you said this so many times over the years to me and to a lot of people, the fact that the football fans have a habit, Penn State fans are different than anyone else, of being critical of the Penn State team in a certain area and reluctant to give credit to the opposition being responsible for certain things.
Well, I think that's true everywhere. I think people have a tendency to, Penn State plays Rutgers, we're a couple of touchdown favorites. You're supposed to go out there and just everybody sit back and have fun and watch all the stars perform. And people have expectations, and when the expectations aren't fulfilled, they get a little bit they're disappointed, and then they start saying, what's the matter with those guys? And that's unfortunate, because really, when you go to see a football game, you want to see both teams play well. You want to see a good, tough contest, and the competition is what I think people should enjoy, not one club routing the other. So in a lot of ways, the Rutgers game was a good game to watch. There was some tension in it. Kicking was good. There was some awfully good defensive plays on both sides. And it was a game that was not decided literally until the last minute or so. So I think people come and they ought to enjoy that kind of game. Forget about the routes. The coaches ought to enjoy the routes, not the fans.
Well, we're going to take a look at the unroute highlights of the Penn State Rutgers game, and then maybe we'll talk a little more about it after they're finished. 84,409 fans at Beaver Stadium for the season opener. Rutgers University. After returning the kickoff to the 15-yard line, Rutgers sets up at its own 15, and Rusty Hochberg keeps on a boot to the left side, gets some running room, gets on into the secondary before Shane Conlon, number 31, can power him, but it's a 15-yard gain and a first down for the Knights. On 3rd and 2 now, Rusty Hochberg rolling right and completes the sideliner to Baker, and another first down at the Rutgers 46. With the 3rd and 1 at the Penn State 45, a bit of a hole for the running back with Carmen Masciantonio, number 84. Plugs it to stop Hooper for no gain, and the Knights are confronted with a 4th and 1. And opt to go for it. From a power I set, they go to the up back, but the blue defense rises to the occasion. Todd Moles down into the stack to make the stop, and Penn State takes over. With a 1st and 15 now at Rutgers' 43-yard line, it's a deep handoff to D.J. Dozier. Cuts to the outside, and you see a fine block by Herb Bellamy at the corner right there to spring D.J. loose, puts a little move on the linebacker, then goes to the outside and outraces the Rutgers defense. A 56-yard play. D.J. Dozier in the end zone, and Penn State's on the scoreboard. Masciantonio will come in to attempt the extra point with 10-17 remaining in the first quarter. Makes it good, and Penn State's up 7-0. Rutgers possession now with a 1st and 10 at its 20. And the running game once again is stopped. Williams is the ball carrier, but Moles and Alexander and a lot of other friends make the stop, bringing up 2nd and 9 at the Rutgers 21-yard line. Hochberg on the play-action pass is being hounded by Lance Hamilton, who's forced out of the pocket. Here comes Bob White in to converge. Rusty has to give some ground, and Hamilton wraps him up. A 13-yard loss on the sack by Hamilton. Penn State takes over following the punt, and we pick up the action with the Nittany Lions in possession at the Rutgers 40, 1st and 10. Lane setback is Tim Manoa, the fullback. And the big running back from North Allegheny High School rambles across the 30-yard line for a 12-yard gain. Inside the 30, I should say. Penn State moving to a 3rd and 7 at the Rutgers 25. Rolling left is Doug Strang, who did a lot of running on this Saturday afternoon. In this case, picks up a first down on a 9-yard sweep. 1st and 10 at the Rutgers 16-yard line. Again, it's the double wing set. Little counter step left by Manoa. Then he hits the hole on the right and rambles for 10 yards and another first down. Penn State moved to a 4th down at the 3-yard line, and Nick Masciantonio is in to attempt a 20-yard field goal, splits the uprights, and the first quarter score becomes Penn State 10 and Rutgers nothing. First play of the second quarter now. Rutgers in possession, 1st and 10 at its own 32-yard line. Hochberg straight back to pass, gets good protection this time, lofts it just over the undercoverage by the linebackers, and the reception is made by Drake, stopped by Zerdich after a 27-yard gain. The defense stiffens again, and Angstadt comes in on 4th down to attempt a 40-yard field goal. Puts it through, and the score becomes Penn State 10, Rutgers 3. Midway in the second quarter now, we're picking up the action with Penn State in possession, 2nd and 8 at the Rutgers 33. Play action fake to Dozier, Strang back to pass. going deep down the right sideline for Sid Lewis, but Lewis falls down, and the interception is made by the Rutgers defensive back and brings it back 27 yards to stop that Penn State drive. A tackle by D.J. Dozier. Rutgers' next possession now. They move on in for the score. It's the same possession, really. And Rusty Hochberg, with good vision, pops it into Hooper in the end zone. And all of a sudden, it's a tie ball game. And the first half ends with the score. Penn State 10, Rutgers 10. Third quarter action now. And John Bruno in punt formation for Penn State. Punting against the wind, Bruno had a fine afternoon. Punted most of the afternoon against the wind. Sends Young deep. The coverage team shows good pursuit as Young tries to swing to the outside. Coming into the picture soon will be number 25 with a shoestringer. Excellent open field tackle to prevent any kind of a return. Rutgers sets up 1st and 10 at its 11-yard line. Williams off, trying to go off his left side. It's Dan Morgan, number 59. Stops him for a 3-yard loss, actually. Picking up now with a 3rd and 13 at the Rutgers 8. And it's Morgan again. Slapping Williams on the draw for a 1-yard loss, and the defense is becoming very, very aggressive. Next Rutgers possession. Hochberg back to pass. Bumps it off to Williams. Has some running room. Avoids one tackler. Zerdich comes in to set him up. Duffy Cobbs also, and here comes Rogers Alexander to put the hit on. You'll see the ball pop out off the hand of one Rutgers offensive player on the ground, and Shane Conlon covers it for Penn State. Rogers Alexander caused the fumble. Penn State then moved, thanks to the cheering of the young cheerleader, to a 3rd and 4 at the Rutgers 24. It's an eye set in the backfield. A semi-roll by Strang, avoids one tackle, avoids another one. Spots Bellamy in the secondary and completes the pass for a 12-yard gain. Penn State moved to the Rutgers 4 and confronted with a 4th down and 2 yards to go. Up to go for the first down, but the Rutgers defense stops Manoa. Swain and Washington on the bottom, short of the sticks, and Rutgers takes over, 1st down at its 4-yard line. Once again, the Penn State defense sets up with Rutgers deep in its own territory, and they go to the power set, and the defense just won't let them out of there. Watch this. Rogers Alexander close that hole and make the bare-hug tackle. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Rutgers at its 4-yard line. They go play action. Hochberg's going to pass from the end zone, but Morgan strips the ball away. It's loose. Penn State can recover for a touchdown, can get no worse than a safety. The Eagle Blue converts on the ball, but it's popped out of the end zone. It's a safety, and Penn State takes a 12-10 lead. Penn State now, with that 12-10 lead, into the 4th quarter, taking over at the 46-yard line, and Tony Mumford is the tailback in this series of down, and rounders for 9 yards on the 1st down possession. And on 2nd and 1, it's Mumford again off the right side, picking his way for a 5-yard gain and a 1st down at the Rutgers 40. Penn State confronted with another 4th down, this one 4th and 1 at the Rutgers 31. The pitch to Mumford, and he slides inside the corner and gets the yardage for a 1st down. Penn State does not move into the end zone for a touchdown. When confronted with a 4th and 2 at the Rutgers 20, Paterno is called upon to kick a 36-yarder. He does just that, and Penn State takes a 15-10 lead. Then late in the ball game, when Penn State is forced into a punt formation situation from the Penn State 22, the option to take the safety is elected, running time off the clock, John Bruno just takes as much time off as he can, gets out of the end zone, and the final score of this ball game is Penn State 15, Rutgers 12. All right, Coach, before we get into some other aspects of the show, a couple of questions pop in my mind. First of all, the physical condition of Dozier. Mumford played the entire second half.
Well, Dozier has a slight groin pull, and wouldn't know for sure until maybe Tuesday as to how bad it will be, but I think he'll probably be okay.
Why the safety? I imagine people have asked you that before.
Somebody told me some of the fans were booing him. I can't understand that.
Well, you can straighten them out.
Well, the score is 15-0. 15-10, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And we've got to punt the football where it may be blocked, may have a bad snap from center. They may return it. There's a lot of things can happen. It seems to me that the odds are if you take the safety, take it back into the end zone, and kill up some time. There were 7 seconds left when we decided to, when we finally were down in the end zone. Now you go out and you punt it. They can't block it. You can't get a bad snap for center, so you've eliminated 2 of the bad things that might happen to you on a normal punt, and you take your chance with the third one. And on kicking off after a safety, your punter does it. You can allow your punter to do it. You can kick it nice and high. Doesn't have to kick it very far, just high so you can cover it. And so the danger of anything bad happening to you is almost eliminated. So I think it's a good call.
I think a lot of people thought that you must have just thought that up on the spur of the moment. I've been to enough practices. How many times do you practice that?
Oh, we practice that every week. Every week we have a checklist on our kicking game. We practice that, practice reacting to a block kick, all the things that may come up in a kicking situation. And we take a safety every week.
So essentially, Bruno knew precisely what to do when you said take a safety.
He had better. We told him take a safety, get in the end zone, run around as far as you can, kill as much time as you can, but don't get tackled, because you don't get tackled, you might fumble it.
Sure.
And if fumble, it's a touchdown for the other guy. So just step out of the end zone when you're about to get hit.
Speaking of Bruno, in the first game under fire, one-step kicker, punted into the wind almost every time. I don't know that he ever punted.
I don't think he had the wind. He may have had a one kick. I thought John did a great job. Really good. First time he's ever punted first in a ball game, I believe, and he tight ball game, close ball game. He couldn't afford a mistake, and I think just did a superb job.
Every time we sit in here and talk about this program, we say what we're going to do is we're going to get the player into this conversation much earlier than we normally do, and we never seem to accomplish that. We're going to get him in the conversation, but first, Carmen, of course, I mentioned, is a defensive captain, and there are 4 Penn State captains this year. And Joe, I would suspect with a squad that didn't have many seniors on it, that these 4 seniors are mighty important ones.
Yeah, and I think it's to Carmen's credit. It took 3 offensive captains and that's 1 defensive captain. I don't know whether that's because he's on defense or because he's Italian. We'll have to figure that thing out. I think captains and senior leadership are always vital, and particularly when you have so few seniors. And I think these 4 captains are going to be awfully good.
Carmen Masciantonio from Jeanette, Pennsylvania. I want to tell you, we have Westmoreland County covered. Joe takes care of the Latrobe viewers. I take care of the Greensburg viewers. And this guy coming into the picture, number 84, Carmen Masciantonio, is going to take care of the Jeanette Jayhawks down in Jeanette, Pennsylvania. Carmen, this business of being a captain, I know it's a role-playing situation, but is it something that you look forward to? Did you ever think you'd be a captain at Penn State?
Well, it's something I think I dreamed about. Never really thought about it that much till it happened, and I really do look forward to it, and I'm just looking forward to the rest of the season.
As Joe has mentioned many times, there certainly are a lot of young ball players on this year's squad. Is it important that you relate, you and Doug and Stan and Nick relate to these younger people, and do they come to you?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's important to be related to them. And I had a situation just the other week where a guy came to me with a problem he was having. I think it's turning out pretty well with my rapport with the younger guys.
I guess it's sometimes more comfortable for them to come to you than it is for them to come to a coach. All right, we'll press that one. Okay.
I've told Carmen and the captains that one thing that the captains have to do is that they've got to handle a lot of problems on the squad, because if some of the problems come to me, then we really have a problem. And they can eliminate a lot of problems. They can do a lot of things that, this is a good group. They're very rarely, Carmen, you guys haven't been to me about a problem yet, so you're obviously handling things.
Yeah, I think it's going pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay, the coach complimented the defense post-game. The fans were excited about the defense. You were a part of that defense. What was your assessment of the defense's play against Rutgers?
I thought, we had a decent performance. We're always going to look forward to getting better. I think next week's going to be a tough game, and right now I think our sights are already set on Iowa, and we know it's going to be a very difficult game. And I think as far as defense, I think everyone likes the scheme better this year, and we're excited about it.
Scheme. Are things being done a little differently than they have in the past?
I think we're a little bit more aggressive this year on defense, going after things instead of sitting back and letting things happen to us.
So that's what you mean by we like the scheme.
Yeah.
You're supposed to get after them. Even if it was a different scheme, I wouldn't know that either.
Well,
did you do anything different, Joe?
Yeah, we were doing quite a few things differently than we've done. A lot of them, it's hard to tell when they're sitting up in the stands, but of course, obviously, Carmen would some things in the coverage, some things in the force on the passer, and some other things, stunts, and that kind of thing. But Carmen would be interested in the scheme because he's going to be a scheming engineer, so he knows all about it. He's one of he's an extremely talented student and doing very well in engineering and tough engineering. You don't have one of the easy ones.
Is there easy engineering? I didn't know that, John. Have you found any?
I don't think there's an easy engineering.
What's your specific interest in the area of engineering?
I'm a chemical engineer.
Right.
And
what's that mean? It means you'd be looking for a job in chemical engineering.
well, this is only a half-hour show, then.
You don't have time to get into that. Well, you're about ready to graduate.
Yeah, I only need 4 credits to graduate this semester. I'm taking about 9 credits, so.
So essentially, at the end of football season, you're going to graduate.
Yes.
He's taking 4 credits. He needs 4. He's taking 9. He's taking 5 in English and philosophy, so he knows what to do when he breaks those mad dudes. They're going to blow up the world. He can figure out how to get out from the
I don't know how he can talk his way out of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I have to do a thing here now. There's always some arrangement on this program. I don't know what I do with this. I guess I hold it up like this. But last year it was bumper strips, and a couple years ago it was a recipe book. And the recipe book was so popular that TV Quarterbacks has done it again. It's a real slick piece of business. You have to see it to appreciate it. I can't hold the inside. I can, but there's nothing in there. See, this is a fake. But the real books will be here, and all you have to do is write, and they're yours absolutely free, and you write to TV Quarterbacks Tailgating Recipe Book, 204 Wagner Annex, University Park, Pennsylvania, 16802. Okay. Carmen Masciantonio has suggested that there's not going to be anything accomplished against Iowa next week based upon the defensive performance of yesterday against Rutgers. Iowa is an adversary, Joe.
Iowa is an outstanding football team, and certainly one of the 10 best football teams in the country. They have a very talented offense. They've got a great quarterback in Chuck Long, who's a poised kid who can do it all. He can run, he knows what's going on in the field, and he's got some awfully good wide receivers as well as running backs like Gill that he throws. Ronnie Harmon, the two of them had just great days against us, all 3 of those people offensively, and our defense will have a tough job on their hands. They're going to have to play a very aggressive, very late football game, and there's so much balance to the Iowa offense. The throw and the run. Defensively, they've got 10 out of 11 starters back. Mike Stoops is one of the really fine, strong safeties in the country. He's a very, very fine football player. And Larry Station was an all-Big Ten linebacker last year as a sophomore, and I think he was a defensive player of the year maybe in the Big Ten. So they're a very, very fine football team, and they're extremely well coached. Hayden Fry does a great job with them. He really does.
Now, of course, we're reliving Rutgers, but that's in the past. You've got to start getting ready for Iowa. Was there a scout there? What's that situation? Do you exchange films? Will you get films? What's the situation?
Yeah, well, we exchanged films with Iowa over the summer, so that we had some time to look at them over the summer. And we had a scout at Iowa who will be coming back as we do this program within the hour with the films of the game with Iowa State, so that we can kind of just check on some things, see whether they're doing things exactly the way they did them last year. Maybe there's some new personnel in there that we could take a look at, and that kind of thing. But I don't imagine there'll be a lot that we will see which will be different than what we saw last year. I would imagine it as successful as they were on defense, they certainly aren't going to change a lot of things. And as good as long as with the offense they have and with the returning people they have at the skills position, I would doubt very much they're going to change a great deal there. They do have an offensive line they have to rebuild, and I'll be anxious to get a look at see how some of those kids are coming along. But the Gills and the Longs and the Harmons, you know, we know what they can do, and they're great players, and we know what we have to do in order to be able to be in the football game with them.
Don't mean to belabor this young squad situation, but you do have a young squad. With that condition, would there be any reason why you would save anything for Iowa as you approach the Rutgers game?
We didn't say anything for Rutgers. I don't know whether people believe that or not. With a young team, the thing you don't want to do is you don't want to all of a sudden try to just highlight a couple of things one week and highlight a couple of things the next week, because then you never really get good. When you're a veteran football team and you've done things over and over and over again and you're really good at them, sometimes boredom sets in. So then you want to try a couple of different gimmicks, because then kids have some new things to learn. But I think when you've got a young team, you better settle on what you want to do and just keep doing it until they get really good at it. And we will not be a really good football team until we play 5-6 games. And then by that time, we might be pretty good.
Coach, thank you very much. Congratulations on a 1-0 start on the season. Carmen, we appreciate you taking the time to come in and keep that defense hyped up. Everybody enjoyed it yesterday. We enjoyed being here on TV Quarterbacks. We got through the first one without any serious mishaps. Maybe we'll do it all season long. We hope you'll join us. Thank you, and good evening. This is Joe Paterno's TV Quarterbacks, and this is show number 2 of the 1984 season. My name is Fran Fisher. I'm here usually each week. Joe is always here each week, of course, and a player guest joins us. We're delighted to have as our special guest on this evening's program, Penn State quarterback Doug Strang. Doug, welcome.
Thank you.
You look wonderful, and I suppose that this is one of your many appearances you've made on television.
I think this will be the first one.
First one.
First one.
I got news for you. It won't be the last.
It won't be the last.
And it won't be Coach Paterno's last either. Joe, congratulations to you, the staff, the squad, everybody concerned. It was a fine win, and if you excuse the trite phrase, team effort, that kind of describes it, doesn't it?
Well, I think it was a good effort, and it was a good win. It's not a win I'm going to get carried away with. There were obviously a lot of things in it that we've got to do better to be a really good football team, but to take a team that's fairly young and to go away from home and play before a very enthusiastic home crowd as Iowa crowd was, and great people. I tell you, the Iowa fans were really great. They were very magnanimous after the game and what have you. And to see a bunch of kids hanging there and have some things not happen the right way early, and particularly offensively, and see the offensive kids just hanging there until they get some things straightened out, and then play a good offensive football game after the first period. And the whole thing, it was good. It really was, and I'm pleased.
You talked about the offense having a slow first quarter, I guess is the way to put it. The rest of the game, they did not have a slow second, third, and fourth quarter. Any particular reason for that?
Yeah, I think that Iowa moves their defenses quite a bit, and I think that we made a couple of mistakes on the offensive line. Maybe we didn't recognize a coverage or two early, that kind of thing. But that's what you got to get used to. You got to get used to being able to adjust to different things that a defense may do to you You can't all of a sudden get upset because they moved from an Oklahoma to a stacked defense and somebody misses an assignment, you know, and then everybody gets a little bit uptight. And then we have not been able to make plays either at Rutgers or the first quarter against Iowa. We couldn't make some things happen for ourselves when we did have a mistake or two. And I think we started to do that after the first quarter at Iowa. We started to make some plays. Things you've got to do, because a ball game is not, the way people play defense today, they're going to make you a little bit erratic. They jump around a little bit or they stun at the right time. But when everything is in there together, when you hit the right play for the right defense, you got to make it. And we haven't been doing that. We started to do that in the second quarter on.
It was an outstanding football game for everybody. It was particularly gratifying, of course, to Penn State fans. If you haven't seen any of the highlights of the game, we'd like you to watch them now. Penn State in Iowa City, Iowa, on a beautiful Saturday afternoon for football. And in the first quarter of the ball game, not a great deal of offense. Penn State's fine defense and the punting of John Bruno kept the Iowa Hawkeyes pretty much in check. Here we see Bruno's first punt of the ball game, a 52-yarder, going out of bounds at the 10-yard line in Iowa territory. Iowa did move out and get a drive together, but Long, the quarterback, on the 2nd and 9 from the Penn State 20, tries to turn and reverse his direction, but the aggressive Penn State defense, led by Dan Morgan and Carmen Masciantonio and Bobby White, throwing for a loss. Iowa did muster a field goal in the first quarter to take a 3-0 lead. Moving out of the first play in the second quarter, it's the Hawkeyes 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line, and Shane Conlon blows through the gap, shakes the ball loose, and recovers the fumble at the Iowa 4-yard line. And the Nittany Lions are in business. The Iowa Hawkeye defense, however, stiffens. The Nittany Lions unable to move, and on 4th and goal, Kevin Campbell comes in to hold Nick Gancitano for the field goal. It's up and through, and it's a tie ball game at 3 early in the second 12. Penn State at its 30-yard line. And Strang is back to pass and looks over the middle and completes to Eric Hamilton for the first down at the Penn State 47-yard line. 3rd and 5 now, Penn State at the Iowa 48. Strang drops straight back, dumps it out to Timmy Manoa at midfield, and the big fullback from Pittsburgh lowers the boom. 11-yard gain. First down, Penn State at the Iowa 37. From a split back set, now this is David Clark, the tailback, getting 7 big yards on the first down carry. All the way to the Iowa 30-yard line to give Penn State a 2nd and 3. From the I formation this time, Clark gets a good hole, bursts into the secondary, gets 12 yards and a first down at the Iowa 18-yard line. And with Campbell holding, Nick Gancitano kicks a 35-yarder, and Penn State takes the lead for the first time by a score of 6-3. And the deep handoff goes to Tony Mumford, who gets important yardage to pick up the first down at the Penn State 29. 1st and 10 for the Nittany Lions. This is Steve Smith, the up back in the eye now, getting the handoff, shaking a tackler right at the hole, keeps his balance, and good strong running gets good yardage for Smith, a gain of 14 yards to the Penn State 41-yard line. And on another important 3rd down at the Penn State 48, Strang with a little roll to the right, finds Eric Hamilton on the comebacker, a gain of 8 yards, first down at the Iowa 44. And still another 3rd down, this one 3rd and 9 at the Iowa 43. Rolling left this time, Strang pulls up and delivers a strike to hit Bellamy, a 15-yard gain, first down at the Iowa 28. Moving now to a 3rd and 6 at the Iowa 24. It's a straight drop by Strang, looking right. Post pattern run by Bellamy, who has his man deep in the end zone for the catch, and Penn State's touchdown gives the Nittany Lions the lead, 13-3, with just 48 seconds remaining in the first half. Good contingent of Penn State fans out in Iowa City. Nanka's kickoff now is high, and it's going to be fielded by Harmon. Very dangerous kick return man. Went the distance last week against Iowa State. Gets some running room, and now starts to turn on the speed to the left sideline. Sidner closing on him, number 27. Finally collars him And a 50-yard return for Harmon gives the Hawkeyes a 1st and 10 at the Penn State team, Iowa 10. 2nd and 1. There's a little look-in, slant pattern right to left. Strang to Hamilton as the 3rd quarter comes to a close. Penn State leading 13-10. Penn State moved in very close thanks to a pass interference penalty, and Doug Strang sneaks in from the 1-yard line. Masciantonio adds the extra point, and very early in the 4th quarter, Penn State has taken a 20-10 lead. The Iowa Hawkeyes are not about to roll over, and we pick up the action now with a 3rd and 3, Iowa at its 39-yard line. Long on a short drop, passes it near the left sideline and complete to Happel for a 6-yard gain on the next play from a power set. Long keeps and sneaks. The kick is good. The touchdown is good, and so is the extra point. And Penn State's lead is cut to 20-17. On Penn State's next possession, they're forced to punt. And John Bruno sends it deep downfield. Smith has to give ground to make the grab, and then comes to the near sideline. This is a very good kick returner in his own right. Smith gets a crack and starts downfield. Duffy Cobbs comes in. A block tackle knocks the ball loose. John Bruno, the punter, is going to come into your picture and recover the fumble, and Penn State gets the ball back. Penn State will punt again, but from a lot better field position, as a happy Penn State bench congratulates Bruno on the fumble recovery. This time, Bruno with a punch kind of kick pops the ball to the 7-yard line, and it drops back to the 10, where it's covered by Kevin. On 4th and 1, they go with the pitch to Harmon. Sidner closes it off on the outside. Harmon is forced inside. Zordich makes the tackle, and the Iowa running back is stopped short of the 1st down. The Penn State defense has made another big play, telling everybody that it's Penn State's ball. That's the way it was, and that's the way the score was. Penn State 20, Iowa 17. Good win for the Nittany Lions. Joe, I'm always reluctant to mention individual people, but I couldn't help but think that fans would say, oh boy, DJ Dozier's not going to play. But you certainly have to give credit to your tailback crew.
Well, Tony Mumford played very well. They ran hard, hung on to the football, and blocked well, and they're good football players. They really are, and they were anxious to make.
We not have a tailback here, but we have a guy that hands the ball to them. We have Linwood, New Jersey's pride, the quarterback, Doug Strang, and Doug. I don't know what we're looking at here, but I don't think we want to run that just yet. But we are running it, and I'm a little confused. So if you can cue that back, we'll get it a little later. Doug, the thing I wanted to ask you was, I read a quote of yours after the game was over about the first pass you completed seemed to give you some sort of an uplift in spirit. Was that a confidence builder, or did that get the team going, do you think?
Yeah, I really think, personally, you always look to hit that first pass. You try, and then as soon as you hit it, you feel like you're on a roll, and you keep, get things going. I think it also it helped the team to get some confidence in themselves. Our offensive line was doing a good job, and it was good for them to get some sort of a payoff for the pass blocking that they were doing.
Joe mentioned the fact that he's been asking you to do some more things that might necessitate getting another quarterback. Is part of the offensive plan you doing a little more ball carrying, or is that run-pass option being called more often?
I think it's just been called in situations where you have a choice to run or pass, and it leaves you a lot of different alternatives. And it's a good play, and I think I enjoy running it because it allows the quarterback a little bit more freedom, and it does wear you out. That's the deficit about it. It wears you out, but if you don't do it too much and you do it to the fullest extent, it can be good for you.
I don't like them to get all those shots either. Though.
That's what I was thinking.
The point I don't like. In fact, we've done more probably in the first 2 games. Doug may not realize it, but we've probably asked him to put some pressure on the corner 3 or 4 times more than we may have done in the first 2 games last year.
We have a piece of tape that looks at a run-pass option, or at least what I think is a run-pass option. Why don't we run that thing up and talk a little bit about this play, Doug?
Okay, what this basically is I'm rolling out here. I think this is a scramble, but I think I turned it up a little bit too quick there. I think Joe let me know that in the game. I have a tendency now to pull it up and try to run a little bit too quickly rather than looking at field and trying to find the secondary receivers.
So that was not a run pass. So that was a pass play, and you pulled it down. And now, what made you decide to run instead of throw?
I think you look for the pocket. You have a feeling for a pocket. It's kind of like an instinct when you can feel the pocket breaking down on you. Sometimes you're supposed to step up in the pocket and try to throw the ball. And I think lately I've had more of a tendency to just step up and keep going. And I hope it's not becoming a habit. I'm going to try to break it and look downfield a little bit better.
We have another play that I get the feeling that is a definite quarterback run the ball kind of play. Talk about this play.
Okay, this is the quarterback option. I'm trying to fake it like it's a pass, and we have a guard pulling on it, and we try to sneak up behind him and try to hide behind the big guard and try to pull a big one, kind of get the defense off balance.
So there's no option there. That was they call it quarterback draw, or is that accurate?
It's like a quarterback counter. It's basically you don't have the option to pass on that one. It's built
designed
to be a run. Yeah.
Doug, I think one of the nice things about this program is the fact that we do get some young people watching it around the state, or in fact around the nation, and we like to like those young people that meet our coach and our players. And you're a very successful quarterback, very successful student. And do you have any advice for a 7th grader that really would like to play big college quarterback? What would you tell them?
I think the biggest thing that they have to get straight in their mind, it's got to be a commitment, both academically and on the football field. I think before you can do anything, you got to do the best you can in the classroom. And because in your head, you're going to have like 10 guys looking you straight in the eye as a quarterback, and they're going to have better respect for you if they know you're putting the time in the classroom. Mm-hmm. And also, it's got to be a commitment to be a little bit different. You got to turn people down for certain things and go out there and work a little bit harder every day. And sometimes on your own, when your friends might be doing other things, you got to make a commitment to yourself that you're going to get better.
Doug Strang has gotten awfully good in my eyes.
Well, Doug's lived by that. He's not only done it, he's not only talking, he's done it. He is an outstanding student. He's an outstanding leader. And he leads by example. He's not one of those holler guys. And the kids I think our squad has tremendous respect for him. And I know we as coaches do. I've always had great respect for him.
Well, so do the fans, and so do old broadcasters and old broadcasters' grandsons, and everybody else have respect for him. Part of the Penn State tradition, of course, is tailgating. We were at Iowa yesterday, and they have a nice tailgate piece of business, but I don't think there's any place in the country that tailgates quite as efficiently and as well as our fans do. They're well behaved, and you know what I'm leading into here. We have a recipe book that will enable you to prepare all kinds of delicious food at home and then bring it to the stadium and enjoy it. And all you have to do to get a free copy of this recipe book is to...
I think they're working towards it. They're young, and they're a couple of the kids who either had more experience. The George Alperts and the Rocky Washingtons have been hurt, so they have not been able to do much with Doug. But I think that they're getting better. I think yesterday Herb Bellamy did well, and Kevin Campbell did well. I think they're going to get close to Doug. Hopefully, in a couple of weeks, we'll have a super quarterback and super wideouts.
I just wonder what I would suspect that you'd feel these wide receivers who are young. You're feeling more comfortable with them each practice too, wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, I've been working with these receivers for basically all summer and into this preseason and in the first few games. So you begin to establish a feeling, and it's getting better each week.
Okay. I think we have another special guest. You have a certain responsibility as the captain to make sure these guys understand that Iowa's finished and there's another game coming. Is that part of your role?
I think definitely it's part of our role. We try to establish something mentally on the team. We usually have a player squad meeting and try to get everybody's eyes directed towards our next game, not overlook a team like William & Mary and look into a Texas or so forth. We try to direct each game by game and try to get on the same grounds with their teammates.
All right, we've run out of videotape, which means that the show's almost over. We would invite you to ask questions to Coach Paterno. We don't have a lot of time in this program, but if you want to write a question in, feel free to do so, and if we're inclined to ask it, we'll do that. We hope you join us each week. We're going to be here. So long, everybody.
Joe Paterno's
Good evening, and this is program number 3 in the 1984 series of TV quarterbacks. My name is Fran Fisher. We have our regular cast here, a player representing Penn State's Nittany Lions, and of course, our head football coach, Joe Paterno. Tony Mumford's our player guest. Tony, it's great to have you here, and I suppose that this is old hat to you. Been on television many times?
As a matter of fact, no, I've never been on television before, and it's a new thing for me.
Well, this is just the start. Tony, of course.
But he'll do all right.
He's already done all right.
I know.
As a matter of fact, Joe and I were talking about turning the whole program over to him because he's in the telecommunications and probably knows more about it than Joe and I do.
I'm sure he knows more about it than I do.
Well, you're pretty safe on both of us. Joe, congratulations. Penn State is 3-0. Middle part of the week, Wednesday, you seemed concerned about the way the team was practicing. Either that picked up or it picked up on Saturday or both.
We had practiced well on Monday, and then Tuesday I kind of got a little feeling maybe we weren't concentrating on some details. But Wednesday and Thursday we practiced well, and I thought after practice Thursday night that we would be able to play well. And I told the squad, I said, you guys have practiced well, now it's just a question of keeping your heads on straight and going out there on Saturday and playing with some intensity. You know what you want to do, and we haven't had a lot of mistakes, and that's why they played. I thought they played well most of the time. I think we got ahead. The start of the second half, the first defense had a little trouble getting back into the game after I had taken so many of them out in the first half. They didn't seem to be quite with it, but overall I thought it was good. I thought we had a good team effort and got a little bit better in some areas, which I think we have to do each week with our schedule. So I'd say, yeah.
It's Parents' Day and 4-H Day on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in State College, Pennsylvania, the college football capital of the East. Penn State and William & Mary, and Penn State has won the toss and has elected to receive. Puts the ball in play, 1st and 10 at the Nittany Lion 27-yard line. And from the I formation, the hand off to the tailback, Tony Mumford, who gets a crack at the line of scrimmage and almost breaks it, is tripped up, but gains 8 yards out to the 35. Then on 2nd and 5, in the William & Mary 47, Doug Strang's first pass of the afternoon, complete to wide receiver Eric Hamilton, a 12-yard reception and a first down. Moving to 3rd and 8 now at the William & Mary 21. Dropping straight back to pass. Strang pulls the ball down, sees running room up the middle, puts it away, and starts off toward the goal line. Winds up 16 yards down the field, all the way to the William & Mary 5-yard line for another Penn State first down. Again, the I formation, the handoff to Mumford, gets a block at the corner from Steve Smith, then Tony turns it on, carries a tackler into the end zone for Penn State's first score, completing a 73-yard, 11-play drive. Nick Masciantonio's extra point makes it 7-0 in favor of Penn State. William & Mary unable to move on its first possession, and following a Lawrence punt, Penn State sets up good field position at the Nittany Lion 40. New set of running backs in there on this series. This is Tim Manoa, the big power running fullback, getting 8 yards all the way to midfield. And on 3rd and 1 at the 49, this is Manoa again, bowling over would-be tacklers. Good, strong running by the fullback. An 8-yard gain in the William & Mary territory at the 42. David Clark is the tailback in this running back tandem, and on Dave's first carry gets a good hole, runs very, very hard, picks up 18 yards all the way to the William & Mary 18-yard line. Clark this time from the 11-yard line gets the pitch, cuts inside the block of Tim Manoa against the grain a little bit, and good hard running, breaks tackles. It looks like he was completely stopped, breaks off to the left and gets all the way to the William & Mary 2-yard line. Then on 3rd and goal, from the Tribe's 1-yard line. David Clark over the stack into the end zone for Penn State's second score. The drive being 60 yards in 10 plays. The extra point makes it Penn State 14, William & Mary nothing. On the Tribe's next possession, Yagiello, the quarterback for William & Mary, back to pass, gets pretty good protection. But Chris Sidner makes the fine play from his corner, cutting in front of the would-be receiver, and Penn State has the ball back. Chris Sidner, number 27. Penn State 2nd and 10 at the William & Mary 40-yard line. And it's Smith and Mumford in the backfield on this series of downs. And the galloping Tony Mumford picks up 18 yards on the carry. And with a first down at the William & Mary 22, it's Mumford again, getting to the corner this time. Steve Smith, the fullback in front, trying to clear the way. And it's a 14-yard gain. 2nd and goal now. Penn State at the William & Mary 8. And Strang is back to pass. Throws to the corner. Demidio keeps the feet in bounds, makes the reception. Penn State touchdown. The extra point makes it 21-0. Penn State at the end of the first quarter. Penn State now in possession in the second quarter. 1st and 10 at its 20-yard line. Handoff to Dave Clark. Gets a hole at the line of scrimmage. Makes a man miss. Good block by Manoa, who crashes it in. Number 25 tries to make the stop on Clark. Clark steps away from that tackle. Makes another man miss. Gets to the outside, and now it's a foot race. And Clark's going to win it, galloping 80 yards for the Penn State touchdown. And the Nittany Lions have jumped out to a 28-0 lead. The Indians, once again, unable to get an offensive drive going, forced to punt. And Penn State sets up 1st and 10 at its 39-yard line. The I formation, the handoff to the tailback, straight ahead power running by Tony Mumford. Good hole again at the point of penetration, and it's a 13-yard gain for the tailback. From the William & Mary 48-yard line, this time Mumford swings to the outside, picks up 13 more to the William & Mary 35-yard line. The quarterback on this series, Schaefer, number 14, dumps it out to Mumford at the 40-yard line. Tony cuts back to the middle, then back out to the outside, and picks up 12 yards to the William & Mary 23. Then from the 15-yard line, to give to the up-back, Steve Smith, and he angles into the end zone for a 15-yard touchdown run. Masciantonio's extra point, and it's Penn State 35, William & Mary nothing. Near the end of the second quarter, this is Yagiello passing in the end zone, complete to Sanders for the William & Mary score, and they had a 12-play, 80-yard drive to get on the scoreboard and make it 35-7 at the end of the first half. Third quarter action now. Penn State in possession. Strang, the quarterback. Little look-in pass and a good catch at the end of the fingers by Eric Hamilton for the first down at the Penn State 38. Then on 3rd and 3, Strang on a bootleg to the right. Looks like he has running room, but picks up Demidio for the 16-yard gain and another Penn State first down. On the next 3rd down situation, Penn State is at the William & Mary 38. It's 3rd down and 9. And Strang once again finds wide receiver Eric Hamilton, who comes back to the ball and gets just enough for a first down at the William & Mary 28-yard line. Deep handoff to Tony Mumford. Good, strong running, dragging tacklers with him, breaking tackles, and rushes for 17 yards on the play. Then on 2nd and 6 from the William & Mary 7 from a power I set, it's a sweep to the left. Manoa keeps in front of him and clears the way, almost into the end zone, stopped just short of the goal line. On the next play, Doug Strang leaps over the top of the pile, and Penn State has added another score. A 77-yard, 11-play drive to make the score Penn State 42, William & Mary 10. This is William & Mary's possession now. And Yagiello back to pass, gets pressure, Eric Allwine and Kirkendall make the pressure. The ball is loose, and Rogers Alexander recovers the fumble for Penn State. The third quarter ended, Penn State leading 42-10. We're into the fourth quarter now, and Penn State has moved all the way down to the goal line. And on the first play of the fourth quarter, Matt Kisner, the quarterback, on the keep to put Penn State on the scoreboard to start the fourth quarter. William and Mary got another good drive going, moving to a 1st and 10 at the Penn State 19. Yagiello looks left and dumps the screen out to the right to Bodner. Bodner has running room, and all the way to the end zone he goes for the William Mary touchdown to close the gap to Penn State 49, William Mary 18. Penn State moved the next time it got the ball, but an interception gave the ball back to William and Mary. However, a bad snap for Lawrence finds the ball loose, and Penn State's junior recovers, and the Nittany Lions have the ball once again. With the Nittany Lions 3rd and 3 at the William and Mary 12-yard line, Kisner is the quarterback, number 7. A new tailback in there, Kevin Woods, number 2, picks up 5 yards on the carry. Then on a 2nd and goal from the William and Mary 7-yard line, Kisner rolling out to the left, sees running room, lowers his head, and bangs into the end zone for the score. Penn State is 3-0 with a 56-18 win over William and Mary. Tony Mumford, you recognize him on this piece of tape as wearing number 12, tailback, cutting out the block of Steve Smith.
That's a big league run by Tony. He had a good feel for where everybody was and made his break just at the right time. He didn't rush it.
I guess sometimes you don't turn it on as soon as you get the ball.
Well, that's the hardest thing to teach backs to do. Don't try to run away from people when you're 5 yards away from the block, and give the guy who is being blocked time to come off the block and get in position to tackle you. And I think that in that particular touchdown run, Tony stayed right on top of the fullback until contact was made, and then just very quickly went to the outside so that the guy being blocked did not have time to come off the block and make a play on him.
Tony Mumford, we mentioned your curriculum before, and we decided during the highlights not to turn the program over to you. Joe and I are going to stay. Tony, you're from Lindenwold, New Jersey, went to Overbrook High School. Tell us a little bit about your high school athletic experience. You were a one-sport guy, a two-sport guy. What about that?
No, when I was in high school, I participated in 2 sports. I played both football for 3 years and ran track for 3 years. I had some interest in basketball. A lot of my friends did as I was growing up, but I never really liked the sport that much, so I decided not to play it.
Were you a sprinter in track?
Yes, did all the sprints from the 100 to the quarter.
It's awfully difficult to get involved in more than one sport at the college level, though, isn't it?
Oh, yes, much more difficult because you just don't have the time really to put a lot of effort into 2 sports. When at this level of competition, you really have to work hard to achieve a certain amount of skill at one sport, let alone 2.
Tony, you've had outstanding performance the last 2 ball games in Iowa City a week ago yesterday and here in Beaver Stadium yesterday. And I guess that practice time really pays off if you tend to your knitting, which you may have heard someone else say, that good things will happen. It was essential that you and Dave Clark step into the tailback position. Are you comfortable there now?
Oh, I'm very comfortable at tailback. You know, I've always felt that was a more natural position for me than fullback, and I have no problem.
In that case, you can learn how to handle cookbooks. You can learn just about everything that's available.
Tony, did you do any cooking at all?
No.
That's a quick question and a quick answer. And Tony does not have a recipe in here. Okay. Joe, we talked about the upcoming game just a little bit because of William Mary's placement, but now we can talk about the upcoming game against what has to be one of America's fine football teams, University of Texas.
I think Texas, through the years, at least since I've been coaching and since Darrell took over at Texas and then Fred Akers succeeded him, has one of the great programs in the country. I don't think there's any question about it. I think they do everything well. They're year in and year out. They play defense as well as anybody in college football. They kick the ball and they play the kicking game as well as anybody. and they're in great physical condition all the time. They challenge you right till the very end of the game. I've never seen them really in a big game be out of it. Right up to the end in every big game I've ever seen. It's a class program with a lot of class people, and I think it's a great opportunity for Penn State. We're delighted to play them in New York in the Big Apple, and I think it's going to be one of those situations that arose because of some schedule difficulties we had with Tennessee and some other people, and Texas wanted to play us home and home, and they wanted to start right away. And the only game we had available at this time in 1984 was one game, and we did not want to go down there, and they didn't want to come here, so we got a neutral site in New York. Now, we do play them home and home in 89 and 90s. I think it's 89 and 90. So we go down there in 89, they come back up here in 90.
Let's take a look at some of those.
Who you got here? Okay, you get Dodge, the quarterback, who really had a great game against Auburn. That's a bootleg. Naked, he kept it all by himself and scored. Dodge is Texas throws the ball much better than people give him credit for. That's Duhon, the wide receiver, made a lot of big plays for them last year. And of course they've got the great running backs, big strong kids, big strong offensive line, and nowhere to run. They don't waste any movement. They don't make bad plays. And on defense, if this is Gray coming up, yeah, this is great. This is the best. He and Mark Robinson, I think, are the two best college safety men I've ever seen. I really do. They're both tough kids, and they're all over the field, and they're a dominant force in a football game, and Gray certainly is. And the big kid, the Gray, 99, is an All-American candidate. He's about 280 pounds, plays defensive tackle, and they're very, very strong in the line of scrimmage. They play a lot of man-to-man in the secondary, which a lot of college teams do not do because they don't have that kind of talent. But they can just look you in the eye and play you one-on-one, but they put so much pressure on the quarterback, and there's so many gifted athletes in that secondary, they can do it. So as a result, their defense is super because they can play man-to-man all the time. If you can play man-to-man all the time, you can play.
But I want to take just a few moments to make sure all the Penn State fans understand a new starting time for the next two games, and every Penn State fan in the world watches this show, so it's the best way to get at them. The Texas game at Giant Stadium's 12:20 kickoff next Saturday. I'll remind you also that the Maryland game in Beaver Stadium on October 6th, 12:20 kickoff time. So it's tailgate heaven here 2 weeks from yesterday. We thank you very much for joining us. Tony, thanks a lot. Good luck the rest of the year. Coach, hook 'em the horns. We'll see you next week.
Hope we don't have any Texas fans.
Okay.
Let's just go play.
Let's just play them. So long, everybody.
Be sure to join us for hard-hitting college football action when Bucknell takes on Princeton in this week's Ivy League football game. That's this afternoon at 1, right here on Channel 12.